We've got the updated Hyundai Tucson Hybrid.
Is this the Tucson to get? All right.
Oh my
All
gosh,
our
it's going
camera gear in the back. All right.
smooth.
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to tell you about this and the gas one and the comparison in just a moment. Right now, what's under the hood of this hybrid Tucson?
A 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 6-speed automatic transmission. 231 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive.
Even though this is a turbo, you can use regular fuel. And with a full tank, you can get 772 kilometers or 480 miles of range. So this was updated for 2025, a nice facelift. Let's get into the key standard features.
The base trim comes with dual 12.3-inch screens, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, an 8-speaker Bose sound system, leather suede combination upholstery, heated 8-way power driver seat and a manual passenger seat, heated steering wheel, a panoramic sunroof, heated rear seats, and a power liftgate. In the US, not all these features are standard, but they are available.
So this is our very first full car review of 2025. Welcome to the new year. And it was just about a month ago that we drove the gasoline version of this. No hybrid, no plug-in. We're not that thrilled with it. Is your view of Tucson with hybrid make it different?
The hybrid makes a huge difference. I like the 6-speed automatic transmission. It's refined, it's smooth, it's quick, and it's comfortable. This is tuned for comfort.
Okay, so you know when people crash on the keyboard and make comments, it should have an 8-speed automatic. You hear that from Mazda. And then you look at the gas version of this and it has an 8-speed, and this one has, it's just got 6 gears, Andrea. The 6-speed's better. It's better over there at Mazda.
Better.
Sometimes more isn't better. More is just more. And that was our main complaint with that one, is the transmission didn't seem to be working that well. This combination of the electric motors, the turbochargers, and the 6 gears, it all comes together.
I remember when this Tucson Hybrid came out and I got in it and I thought, how does Hyundai make this so quiet? How do they do it? It's the same over at Kia. They've nailed it with noise insulation in this cabin.
So if you're somebody that puts a premium on having a nice, comfortable, and quiet vehicle, something like this is going to fill your needs, and they've done an excellent job. Then you get into the ride comfort, and I find the suspension is kind of complements the quiet cabin. It's a really nice combination of, you feel the road, but it's not bumpy at all. And how do you like the steering feel?
Steering is super light in this model. I prefer something a little bit heavier, but I get the appeal of it. It's just easy to maneuver in the city. On the highway, plenty of passing power. Acceleration, which you just saw off the top, is excellent from a stop sign.
Okay, I've got it in sport now, but what else can we put it in?
Got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, we're going at higher speeds now, foot to the
we go.
floor. And it takes a sec for it to drop a gear, but it's still pretty quiet.
And quick.
You know what, we drive a lot, well, we drive all of the compact SUVs, and they all screech quite a bit at highway speed passing. This one is still very quiet. I mentioned at the beginning, 2025 brings a facelift. You'd really have to know your Tucsons to see the difference. They did change the grille, they did change the back. What did they change?
Yeah, new grille, new front and rear fascia, and you've got a 3-inch longer rear wiper that is hidden under the valance. It improves visibility. There were some complaints about that.
Very good in Vancouver.
We've had a lot of rain this winter. This gets 8.3 inches of ground clearance and comes standard with LED headlamps, LED tail lamps, 19-inch wheels, and a tire repair kit. In the US, because there are more trims to choose from, 17-inch wheels are standard, 18 and 19-inch are available.
Well, we don't have to spend a lot of time on the outside because really not much of a change. The biggest changes for this facelift were not the face, but the interior. And you see this from the Hyundai group a lot. The vehicle's out for just a few years and they come out with basically a new interior. So they used to have one big panel under the screen in the center. It was really filled with a lot of shiny hard plastic. Now they've broken it up. And what are the changes they've made?
Yeah, it's just more comfortable in here. The cabin cabin feels open. They've moved the wireless charger. I think it's in a really convenient location. You've got dual 12.3-inch screens as standard equipment in Canada. The 4.2-inch digital driver display is standard in the US, but available 12.3-inch on that SEL model. And I don't know if you remember this, Zach, but the center console in the previous model Tucson, it was a little bit high and there were some complaints about it. This is really nice.
Okay, so when you get back to the buttons, and what they've done is they've broken things up. They used to have one big panel, as I mentioned. Now they have the hotkeys, which thankfully they've still left, so you can get into your maps or your music with the hotkeys there, and volume knobs. Below that is the HVAC control system, and then they've moved other switches here to the center armrest. We spoke to a head designer, was over at Kia, saying, how do you decide what goes there? He said, oh, there's lots of discussion.
I'm sure there is.
And that's where the drive modes are. That's where you put it in subscribe.
I love all the knobs and buttons in here. It's just so convenient. There's also a new tray on the dash.
That's great, actually.
Yeah, and it's got cloth materials, so some unique materials in here. One thing I don't like is that the storage on the door pockets is quite narrow. I can only put one water bottle in there, and I had two today. This is very good though for storage here, and then also you've got the tray at the bottom. You can put a purse or snacks, whatever you like.
Okay, a couple of negatives here. There is still a lot of shiny hard plastic in here, the center console, the door armrest area where the switches are. So they've used that quite a bit. So that's one thing. And then you go to the shifter, which is this new shifter we've seen them using for they're electrified vehicles. They also use it in the gas model as well, but not all of the gas models in the United States. That's something it takes a while to get used to, but it's really not that hard.
Also, interior color options in Canada, you're limited to mostly black. If you go for the N-Line model, it does up the sportiness with the N-Line exterior and interior design elements, but it's still a darker interior. You definitely have more options in the US because there's more trims, but I like that there's a light headliner here, keeping the cabin open and brighter.
Available features on higher trims include navigation, head-up display, surround view monitor, remote parking system, park assist warning, leather upholstery, driver's seat memory including the mirrors, 8-way power passenger seat, and ventilated front seats. Well, this is one of the biggest in the compact category. You get really good legroom, good headroom. If you need space, this is a winner.
Comparing the Tucson Hybrid to the Honda CR-V Hybrid, the Tucson has 41.4 inches of front row legroom, which is similar to the CR-V. Second row legroom at 41.3 inches is a little bit larger than the Honda.
And then you lift the power liftgate on this trim and you get a large and useful cargo area. Andrea mentioned it a moment ago, there is no temporary spare tire. It's a tire repair kit.
Cargo space behind the second row for the Tucson is 38.7 cubic feet, and overall cargo space is 74.5 cubic feet, which is a little smaller than the CR-V.
All right, some good questions about this one.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Did they change the very loud and annoying sound when going in reverse? So once we got this question in, because I didn't even notice the sound.
So that's your answer. Didn't even notice the sound.
Yeah, I turned off the radio and there is a slight sound, but nothing like the RAV4 Hybrid.
Well, the thing is, it has to be audible for people who are walking by. That's why they do it, for safety reasons, because these cars, when they're at low speeds especially, are not running the gasoline engine. So it's a safety issue. Where did that all start, Andrea?
It actually started with Toyota in Canada.
There you go. We found that out from an executive.
Yeah. This or the Kia Sportage or Sportage in Canada, we say it that way. Hybrid, SX Prestige. There is no Prestige, it's just SX Hybrid.
So that's the top trim.
That's right.
It really comes down to design, what the vehicle looks like on the outside and the feature set on the inside. I That's really what it comes down to. They're using the same powertrain. They're built on the same platform. They now have a similar kind of single screen for the infotainment and speedo and all that kind of stuff. So it comes down to what you like.
Yeah, now the Sportage is a little bit less money in Canada. It's $2,800 less than this Tucson.
Okay, you changed my mind. I'm getting the Kia. $2,800, that's a lot.
Yes, but if you're leasing and you're looking at monthly payments, it's probably not a ton. But yes, it is a little bit less. Another thing is the Kia gets a temporary spare tire. This has a tire repair kit.
Okay, I'm going Kia all day now, Andrea.
But some benefits to the Tucson. If you like bigger wheels, you get 19-inch wheels on the Tucson top trim and 18-inch on the Kia.
Well, if you want to get a question in for a future episode and follow along what's going on behind the scenes, make sure you follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to get all that. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button.
Love the interior updates for 2025. Is it worth waiting for the PHEV version instead?
Well, you have to do the gut check whether you want to spend the extra money for the PHEV, how much you drive, what kind of payback you're going to get. For people who drive infrequently, it's probably not worth the money. For people who do big commutes every day, it might be.
It might be. You have to plug it in. This is just easy peasy, whether you are going on a long road trip or you're just using it as a city runaround. The hybrid doesn't need to be plugged in, and you still get great fuel economy. So it really comes down to what you like, of course. I have to say, between the two, I prefer the hybrid.
Oh, I was going to say, I was going to guess the hybrid.
Sorry, Zach.
For me, it's a combination of how much you're spending, because plug-ins are expensive, and it's going to take you a long time. This is already efficient to make that money back. That's what I always think. It's like and the ease of use. I don't have to plug it in. I just get in and drive away.
Now, keep in mind, there is a federal EV rebate in Canada. Don't know if it's going to be going past April or not. The government hasn't said, but sometimes when you look at that $5,000 rebate, it might bring the cost down, that it ends up being around the same price. And if you are doing short distances, mostly city driving, like my mom does with her Tucson plug-in hybrid, you get a pretty clean drive every day.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea? How
does this compare to the RAV4 hybrid system? And do you find this better value than the Kia hybrid? Absolutely the best review channel online. You two are great.
I know it's a little dangerous, Andrea. I'm going to take both hands off the wheel. You ready?
Oh, boy.
Please stop. I'll put my knee here. Just stop with the compliments. All right. So the difference between the Toyota hybrid system and this is that this uses a regular automatic transmission. It doesn't have an eCVT. It doesn't use the planetary gear set. It's using a conventional transmission, and then sandwiched in there is the electric motor. And also to help get things moving along, they have a turbocharger. So it's quite different. Fuel economy, is the fuel economy the same, Andrea?
Fuel economy isn't as good as the RAV4 hybrid, and that's where that eCVT comes into play with the Toyota. So something different that Hyundai offers with the 12-volt battery. Zach, what does a 12-volt battery do?
The 12-volt battery runs all of the electronics on the inside, helps start the gasoline engine. It is not the drive battery, it's the accessory battery.
So Hyundai has a system in place for that 12-volt battery, because if you don't drive your vehicle as often, or it sits for a longer period on vacation, let's say you're leaving it at home, we recommend a trickle charger to keep that 12-volt battery topped up. Now, with the Hyundai Tucson, it is different. On the left-hand side of the steering wheel, there's a 12-volt battery reset button. This is a clever system. And here's how it works. When the system detects that the 12-volt battery is draining, it disconnects it. You will know this because when you go to start your vehicle, the key fob won't work. You'll have to use the mechanical key to get into your vehicle. Once you get in, when you hit that 12-volt battery reset button, you do that within 15 seconds of getting in the vehicle. Then you drive the vehicle for 30 minutes and it recharges that battery. The beauty of this system is that you don't have to get your vehicle towed if that 12-volt battery is not working.
All right, let's get into the fuel economy and more in our vital stats.
Here's the pricing. We'll start with Canada first and then move on to the US. It includes freight, PDI, and fees. The N-Line model starts at just over $46,000 and the top trim is just over $50,000. In the US, the base model starts at just under $33,500 and the top trim is just over $41,000.
Here's the fuel economy, 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers city, 6.7 on the highway. That's 35 miles per gallon city. You guessed it, 35 miles per gallon highway. The Tucson can tow up to 2,000 pounds, and the warranty is 5 years, 100,000 kilometers, or 60,000 miles. So the hottest category, compact SUVs, and hotter again are hybrids. Here's 4 to choose from.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Honda CR-V Hybrid with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, a combined 204 horsepower, and a starting price of almost $49,500.
The Mazda CX-50 Hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 219 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $43,000.
The Kia Sportage Hybrid with the same powertrain as the Tucson Hybrid, and a starting price of just over $41,500.
And the king of all of these is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 219 horsepower, and a starting price of $39,000.
So there are 4 hybrids for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like to see improved.
I really like the refined drive this Tucson offers.
If you want a quiet car, this should be on the top of your list.
I'd love to see more interior color options in Canada.
All right, so I like them to tone down the shiny hard plastic, but overall this thing is a winner. But what do you guys think of that? It's the updated Hyundai Tucson Hybrid.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.